Said to me when I started to teach in '66, you need to improve literacy. I would have, as I said, I was very agreeable. I would have smiled and said yes, of course, but I wouldn't have known how to have done it. And I really would have hoped there would have been no measure of whether or not I had done it. Now, if I were going to be treated fairly, let's say the school was serious about me teaching literacy, I would have wanted some help in embedding the actual literacy procedures in the content that I was teaching. So if I was teaching Year 7 science and in week 1 and 2 we were doing the solar system, I'd want to know how to embed particular literacy knowledge in the solar system. So I would have wanted some help in doing that because I wouldn't have known how to do it. And so I would have liked some reference to doing that in week 1 and 2. It may well be that if one of the heavies from the school leadership team was saying you've got to teach the children how to get their knowledge ready, it would be great to know that in period 3, on the Tuesday when I'm teaching that Year 7 science class, there's someone available to guide me to do it, to show me how it's done. I haven't learnt it. I'm really keen to know how to do it. I need someone to show me. Is this okay? See, I think we need plans like this. We need to see actually how we're going to be doing it. So I need also, before I'm expected to do it independently, I need to actually be able to discuss with my colleagues what they think about doing it, like we did here today. What are different ways of actually teaching it? Because I know that 2 or 3 minds are better than one in how to teach a particular topic. And one of my colleagues will see all sorts of things that I don't see. Now, we do that now. I mean, all of us do that. We have PLTs, and we do it to some extent informally. But I'm wanting to say that we really need dedicated literacy, at least next year, we need dedicated literacy teams for really working through how these things are being put into practice. And we also need the opportunity for pooling the new knowledge we've gained. It's very important that we, as a group of professionals in any school, that we actually build our new knowledge, that we build and we add to our new knowledge. Now, there is going to be a role, and we're going to talk more about this later today, there's going to be a key role for instructional leadership in my professional learning, where the school leadership team discuss with me how I'm teaching, how the literacy work is moving along, and so on. It's critical that I actually be able to get feedback from my colleagues, as well as pooling the knowledge, that we get feedback in terms of how we're actually building staff awareness. And I included that specifically in this plan for this year. And my professional learning might also depend on getting feedback from the students. After all, they're the ones who are going to decide whether or not I'm getting their knowledge ready, okay, aren't they? They're the ones who, if they don't feel the teaching is having any effect, I need to modify my professional learning. Let me say that again. If I'm intending in my class to put in place children learning more about the meanings of words, and if the children don't feel or see that happening, then I need to be doing something else, because the teaching that I believe I'm doing isn't achieving its mark. So how am I going to get feedback that's useful for me from the students? That is part of my professional learning. Now, I'm not seeing anyone nod or agree with me here.
Good, this is the correlation chart.
Sorry, this...
You could use a good correlation chart.
Well,
What you learned.
You could use a correlation chart, but we really do need to have some avenues for getting feedback from the students. Now, along those lines, obviously I've prepared this as a fortnightly schedule. And if I've prepared this as a schedule, I'm suggesting that in some places at least, there needs to be the teacher's name at the top of it. You know, James or Joan or whatever. And if I were James or Joan, and Karen was heavying me to improve my teaching, James, I would want to see a plan like this. I'd want to know that I was going to have the opportunity to learn how to do this. And so on that plan, I'd like to see how that fitted with the content I was teaching. So Andrea, I'm wanting to see a plan. Now, do we want this every week? No, we don't. Do we need coaching every week? No, we don't. We don't need any of these every week. But at some point, strategically, I might need, over the term, I might need some of those activities for my professional learning. Is that okay? Each of them is going to deliver something different. We've said that. The lesson planning will deliver something different from the coaching. The pooling of the knowledge will deliver something different from getting feedback from the students. But if in fact we're going to make a success of this, then the professional learning for you and your colleagues will need to be covering all those activities. In fact, I could be challenging and say, not that I'm ever challenging, but I could be challenging and say, are there any there that do you think are not necessary? Are there any activities that you would say there are a waste of time for professional learning?